I'm delighted to welcome you all to the third Yuva Sustainability webinar under the Yuva Sustainability Internship hosted by Voices of Bharat Yuva for Sustainability, an initiative of Sustainability Karma with Lok Samvad Sansthan in association with IIMT University. I am Naina Gautam, editor of the Sustainability Karma podcast on All India Radio. Today's webinar topic is about rewriting the story of waste, circular solutions made simple. This webinar seeks to empower students to transform waste narratives through creativity and sustainability. Participants will explore how the circular economy turns waste into resources, sparks innovation, and promotes eco friendly living. With insights on recycling, upcycling, and eco design, this session seeks to equip youth to communicate circularity effectively and become change makers rewriting waste stories for a greener tomorrow. We have a lot of expert speakers to unweave the complexities of waste. Other expert speakers include Professor Dr. Simi Gurwara, Chair, Dean, School of Humanities and Mass Communication, IIMT University. We have with us Mr. Prashant Singh, co-founder and CEO, Blue Planet Environmental Solutions. He will be joining us soon. We have Mr. Abhishek Agassi. He's the co-founder and CEO, LMA. We have with us Neeru Dhawan, Head Global Communications, UFlex. We have with us Dr. Prithvi Sanger, Head Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, IIMT University. Now let us know a bit more about our speakers. We have with us Professor Dr. Simi Gurwara, Dean School of Humanities and Mass Communication, IIMT University. A bilingual writer and academic leader, Dr. Gurwara has authored books, research papers, and creative works. She has scripted four films division, documentaries, and the Hindi feature film Coffee House, screened at Cannes and other international film festivals. Mr. Prashant Singh, co founder and CEO, Blue Planet Environmental Solutions. Mr. Singh has led the company to become one of Asia's fastest growing waste management firms. The company technology across the entire waste value chain, offering innovative solutions for sustainable growth. Then we have with us Mr. Abhishek Agassi. He's the co founder and CEO of Elima, a sustainability focused company creating practical, scalable solutions for environmental challenges. He combines entrepreneurial vision with sustainable practices that generate business and social impact. Then we have Miss Neeru Dhawan, Head Global Communication UFlex Group. With over 20 years of experience in strategic marketing, CSR, and corporate communications, oversees branding, communication, and sustainability initiatives at UFlex. She has been recognized for leadership and champions diversity, inclusion, and impactful CSR globally. Then we have Dr. Prithvi Sengar, Head Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, IIMT University. Dr. Sengar specializes in media studies and journalism. He has guided students, strengthened departmental research, and promoted creative communication and sustainability practices in academia. We sincerely thank all our esteemed speakers and welcome the interns participating in this webinar. I now invite our moderator, Rajiv Tikku, and I welcome you all again.
Yeah, thank you, Nana, for that detailed kind of introduction and also welcoming everybody. Thank you very much. This initiative has been started on World Environment Day, essentially to mainstream sustainability conversations among us youth. We have a youth dividend. Our youth is very tech savvy and very social media savvy and storytelling savvy. And there are three touch points. And climate change is affecting us today, but unfortunately, it's going to affect them more. So the whole idea is, can we bring all these three together and mainstream conversations on sustainability for climate action going forward? These could be the ambassadors who would take it to larger communities. And we're trying to create awareness in at least 1 million people. Request Dr. Semi Gurwara to make her initial remarks. And we could take a quick round of initial remarks from our esteemed panelists and then probably move quickly to students for their questions. So, Dr. Semi Gurwara, over to you for your initial remarks.
Thank you, Rajiv ji, for your kind words and for letting us know as to how far and wide this mission of yours has reached, and the number of participants that you have, for this mission is staggering, I must say. Now, if I come to the topic of this webinar, which talks about circular, solutions, because waste management, as we all know, there are so many students in the panel, and you must have observed that when we talk about rewriting or rescripting the waste management solutions story, then your contribution becomes immense, and we all look forward to you. Why? Because of the technological breakthroughs that you guys can come up with, and you have come up with, and the kind of initiatives that you have taken, the kind of approach that you have taken, the perspective that you show to the world is something which is incomparable. And as an academic, because I have been in academia, I mean, for the last 29 years now, and as an academic, I can see, and I would like to say also that when we talk about a topic like this, then the contributions that every individual, I mean, every single individual can make, individually, is something which becomes enormous, something that we don't care about, bother about, and try to think about some very big ticket, things to come our way, so that this problem, which starts at a very minuscule level, at every household, I would say, and then spreads out. So if we can make our kitchens zero waste kitchens, only then the cities can be zero waste cities. And similarly, when every citizen, every individual takes the responsibility that this waste management theory is not just to be taught within the four walls of a classroom, but also has to spread across and reach out to every single person in the community, we will not be able to achieve the goals that we have set, to overcome this problem. So if we talk about a shift from a linear economy that we have, and we have witnessed over the years that due to this consumerism, so much has been there, and so much greed also has been there to consume. Now, I would here like to, cite those sagacious wordings by Mahatma Gandhi, when he said that there is enough in the world, to safeguard our needs, but not for a greed. So there is enough. Resources are enough. There is no dearth of resources. There is an abundance of resources all around us. But that is only for our need, not for the greed. Now, if we become greedy and try to, consume as much as we can, right, without any consciousness involved in the buying process, then it leads to what? A problem like this. And of course, this is the reason why there is a need for us to have a webinar on this topic today.
I will have to come back to you later because there are other things also which will come up during the conversation. Huh? You'll allow me to move to the next speaker. Thanks a lot for giving the larger context of the webinar and also showing the way forward while looking back, actually. Thanks a lot. I'll welcome Prashant Singh ji from Blue Planet, and he is joining us from Singapore. Welcome, Mr. Prashant Singh.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Thanks a lot for joining in. I would like to make your opening remarks quickly, then we'll move to a session of questions from the students and then come back to speakers again. Please, sir.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Rajiv ji and team. Great pleasure to be a part of this wonderful discussion. My name is Prashant Singh. I'm co-founder and CEO for Blue Planet Environmental Solutions. We are based in Singapore and second largest waste management company in Singapore, third largest in New Zealand. A couple of areas that we focus on is landfill biomining. We are one of the largest companies in the world today, making sure the waste which has already been created, I mean, the landfills that is an eyesore left, right, center in India. I think we make them look, I mean, we make them disappear sustainably. And in that part of the business, we have processed around 15 million tons of waste over the last few years, and our focus is on zero to landfill. Okay, so we focus on deploying technologies so that the waste becomes a resource, and we deploy different kind of segregation technologies, processing technologies, upcycling technologies, and so on and so forth to make sure that eventually our vision and goal of zero to landfill will become a reality. So I will touch base more as part of the Q&A here, but looking forward to engaging furthermore. Thank you, Rajiv ji. You're on mute.
Yeah, thanks a lot for those brief comments, and we'll come back to you in a while.
Sure.
May I request Abhishek Agashaji, who has been with us for some time now, please make your opening remarks, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I'm Abhishek. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Elima. We are a 3-year-old startup. We work primarily in the e-waste, critical minerals, and plastics recycling space. Also doing a lot of upcycling, like Simi ma'am said, so focusing more on the upstream value creation when it comes to electronics. And our primary purpose or vision is that, like ma'am said, right? So for us, sustainability and products are not two separate things. We want to create products that inherently are sustainable. So we don't need to stress on conscious consumption, but consumption becomes conscious by default. So we are trying to go in that direction. Currently, we operate pan India. We process close to 85,000 metric tons per annum. And we are in the process of setting up a larger facility, which will help us process close to a lakh and a half metric tons per annum in the coming year. So that's a little bit about what we do.
Yeah, thanks a lot for giving us a quick sense of what you are into. And we'll come back to you. In the meantime, I'll move to Niru Dhawan, who heads the global communication at Uplex. Niruji, please make your opening remarks.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I represent Uflex, which is India's largest flexible packaging company. We have international operations in 9 countries, and we've been focused on sustainability and recycling since 1995. We were recognized at the Davos Recycling Forum for our concept to recycle mixed plastic waste, MLP waste, which is still, in a few quarters considered difficult to recycle back in 1995. So since then, the company has been focused on if on the one hand, flexible packaging contributes to the GDP growth of a country and we can't really do without plastic, how is it that we can embed sustainability through recycling into our operations? So, we recycle more than 70,000 tons of mixed plastic waste and PET waste across our recycling facilities in India, Poland, Egypt, and Mexico. And we've recycled more than 5 billion PET bottles since inception. And we are now setting up another recycling facility that will help process close to 40,000 metric ton per annum of plastic waste. and that's at an investment of $40 million. So as an organization, we believe that it is important that flexible packaging continues to grow, because that's the only way that we can provide, food and beverages in the remote areas, and we can ensure that, the food products are safe and the shelf life can be extended. But at the same time, we cannot have a plastic waste problem. So very happy to hear from fellow panelists as to what they are doing in either other countries or even in India, from the startup organization as to what is the new technology. Having said that, being one of the largest manufacturers in this space, we've also been doing our bit over the years. And like us, there are so many other industry players. And the government is also doing its bit now with the extended producer responsibility mandate that has come in. So when we talk about responsible consumption, when we talk about recycling, I think now the brand owners, the producers, the importers, everybody will have to kind of work in tandem along with the recyclers to ensure that increasingly recycled content is being used in packaging, and there is also a lot of traceability in terms of where the plastic waste lands up. So this is a very, very important conversation, because if we are talking to universities and colleges and school students, that's where the real change happens. Because we can set up as many recycling facilities, possible, but if we don't have access to post-consumer waste, I mean, you would be surprised to hear that we do not get adequate MLP post-consumer waste to have our recycling plants be running optimally. So that's probably another conversation that we need to have at a later date, that why is the waste not even reaching the recyclers? But we are all working together to find the right solutions. So happy to be here today.
Thanks a lot for making those comments. And we have been hearing about that Sweden imports waste because they have lots of capacity to process it, but they don't have the waste. But I didn't know that we also have a similar kind of a situation here. Though I also heard from some startup friends here that when they have been setting up facilities, they also have to look at importing waste. So I guess there's quite a bit of an action happening there. So thanks a lot. And I'll come to Dr. Prithvi Sengar here, who heads the media department at IMT University. Prithviji, I would like to just step in right now. And we also have students generally who are bilingual, English and Hindi also. So please feel free to talk in whichever language you would like to communicate with your students. Most of them are from your institution here, I guess.
सबसे अच्छा मुझे ये लगा कि इसमें जो स्टूडेंट है ग्रुप में बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिव हैं और उनके अंदर क्वेरी है, हम लोग किस तरीके से इस अप्रोच को आगे बढ़ाएं कि हम सस्टेनेबल एक फ्यूचर बनाएं जहां पर हमारे जो प्रोडक्ट हैं वो यूज हो सके, रिसाइकल्स हो सके, और किस तरीके से इनोवेटिव अप्रोच लेके आए. आई थिंक ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, और ये इनिशिएटिव भी कि जहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप है सब बच्चों की, इस पर मेरा बस एक थोड़ा सा इनपुट है फिलहाल के लिए, जो शॉर्ट में हम लोगों को इसमें कहना है कि हम लोगों को ये देखना है कि कैसे हम जो भी प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहे हैं उसको रिसाइकल कर सके. हमें ये ध्यान रखना है जो हमारे जो प्रोडक्ट्स घर में बन रहे हैं, हम लोग घर में यूज कर रहे हैं, वो आगे जाकर हमारी नदियों को, हमारी जो मिट्टी है, जो लैंडस्केप्स हैं और जो ओशियंस हैं, सागर हैं, सबको वो खराब कर रहे हैं. तो हमें पहला कदम कहाँ से रखना है? अपने घर से, अपने आप से. तो यहाँ से शुरुआत करेंगे, और इसके लिए जरूरी है कि हम उन चीजों को मोटिवेट भी करें. ऐसे मैं मीडिया में हूँ और बच्चों को पढ़ा रही हूँ जिस तरीके से स्टूडेंट्स को, तो जब भी उनसे कहा जाए कि इन्वायरमेंट के ऊपर कोई स्टोरी लिखिए, शुरू में वो बहुत खुश होते हैं और लिखते हैं, इनोवेटिव उनके बहुत से आइडियाज आते हैं. तो उन्हें देख के लगता है मुझे कि अगर हम, जैसे ये अप्रोच है हमारी युवाओं के लिए, तो युवाओं को जिस तरीके से आगे बढ़ाया गया है, तो होपफुली 1-2 साल में हम लोगों को इस समस्या पर बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट देखने को मिलेंगे. और यही हमारी इस वेबिनार की कोशिश है. ये पूरी जो हमारी सीरीज है, कैंपेन है, इसका उद्देश्य भी यही है कि हम युवाओं को साथ में लेके आए, और आगे हम इस पे और भी विचार विमर्श करेंगे, फिर उसके साथ हम लोग करेंगे. फिलहाल मैं शुरू में बस इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी कि युवा जो एक साथ आए हैं हमारे साथ, वो इस पर काम करें. सबसे पहले अपने आप से शुरुआत करें, तो आगे सोसाइटी भी आपके साथ आएगी और गवर्नमेंट भी आपके साथ आएगी, क्योंकि पॉलिसीज भी बनी हुई हैं और सोसाइटी को कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति चाहिए जो उन्हें इस काम के लिए प्रेरित कर सके, और वो युवाओं से अच्छा और कोई नहीं है। थैंक यू। शुक्रिया, और आगे मैं राजीव सर को फॉरवर्ड करती हूँ।
जी, थैंक यू डॉक्टर पृथ्वी। आई थिंक आपने बड़ा पर्टिनेंट सवाल बता दिया कि चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम, घर से शुरू कीजिए, जो डॉक्टर सिमी गुरवारा जी ने भी वहीं से शुरुआत की थी. So we'll come back to you in a while. Nana would like to invite some questions from the audiences so that we have a bit of an interactive kind of a session. So in the meantime, probably we could move to students actually.
So shoot in questions.
Yeah, guys.
I have a question for Dr. Simiji. Namaste, ma'am. I'm Shubh Agarwal, CA analyst. And I wanted to know, how can non-media students acquire necessary storytelling skills?
Well, Shubh, first of all, you don't have to be a mass comm student to learn storytelling skills, right? See, Shubh, nowadays, like had this question been asked, years back, I would have could have rather understood, I mean, the problem involved. But these days, when we have multiple learning resources, like you just need to have a desire, you just need to have an inclination towards something, and there are multiple resources you can, like as per your like requirement. Now, I don't know what are the areas that you're lacking in and where your strengths lie, but if you go to the learning resources, you take any YouTube channel, or you take any podcast, or you take any play for that matter, you, I mean, pick up any learning resource, and there are multiple things, multiple resources for you to learn from. That's one thing. So you just need to have a desire, and there is so much out there.
Shubh, I hope you got the answer. And I think one of our speakers has a hard stop at 6:10. So I would invite questions for Abhishek ji. If anybody has a question for Abhishek Agashe sir, kindly shoot that
Yes.
first.
Good evening, members. I'm Apurva Mittal, and my question is for Abhishek, sir. So, what role can business leaders play in making circular solution accessible and easy to adopt for everyday people as well as other businesses?
Sure. So, first of all, Apurva, hi, and thanks for joining this and asking me a question. So, like I said, right, look, this is what I believe, right? So, I feel, conscious consumption or consumption of sustainable products is at the moment a very more expensive solution, right? And it's there on the fringes of consumption, right? Like I said, that by default, companies are working towards, ma'am is working towards setting up flexible packaging, right? Prashant is working towards setting up zero landfill. We are working towards setting up circular. So first you need to understand what is a circular economy itself, right? That is the primary thing. So circular economy is basically an economic term, right? It basically, in the real world, it means organizing your supply chains, right? That's the actual implementation of a circular economy. So how does that happen, right? And it happens across different stages. So waste management, recycling, all of this comes at a later stage, but it all starts from how the product is designed itself, right? So when we talk about consumption or circularity in consumption, what businesses can actually do is to try to make their products inherently sustainable. That can involve easier recycling, easier reuse, using materials that can be recycled or reused multiple times, right? And then inherently the product itself becomes sustainable, but it has to be done at scale, right? So that the products are not very expensive and out of reach of most of the consumers in the world today. And when it's done at scale, the market forces itself will drive products to be more sustainable. And I can say this on behalf of all the panelists here who are engaged in this, that all our efforts are towards doing this, is that we can mass hyperscale sustainability and sustainable products, so they are by default accessible and affordable to everybody, whether it's businesses or whether it's consumers, right? So that's the way to go. We just need to scale up our solutions. Unfortunately, I don't agree with Simi ma'am on reduction of consumption. I think consumption drives economy. Consumption drives. It's a basic human need to succeed, and I don't mean consumption is equal to success, but consuming products, experiencing different products, places is what drives humanity forward. And I think we have to work towards just making them by default sustainable, and that will happen for sure in the coming years with in technology intervention as well. I hope I
Thank
was able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before he leaves us, let's take a selfie.
Yeah, I would request everybody to switch on the cameras then quickly. So anybody else has a question for Abhishek ji?
Or maybe you could do your stuff with Mr.
Yeah,
Agassi.
then I'll quickly chip in here. I think just very basic. What we understood typically waste management was that bins at home, and then of course some kabadi wala collecting it. And I was told by a former environment secretary that Indians are the biggest recyclers. जैसे डॉक्टर सिमी गुरुवारा ने बोला दादा पिता बड़े भाई छोटे भाई किचन का डस्टर फिर गाड़ी का क्लीनिंग वाला कपड़ा तो ये सब चलता रहता था सो अब वो थ्रोवे कल्चर हो गया बट आई थिंक डॉक्टर सिमी वाज आल्सो रेफरिंग टू थिंग्स दैट प्रोडक्ट्स हैव आल्सो वेरी शॉर्ट लाइफ स्पैन टुडे and without getting into that kind of a discussion, my basic thing here is that how has this waste management suddenly become a tech solution only? We only hear about tech, tech, and tech, but finally, you still end up with a problem like collecting the waste as a product.
Sure. So आपने जो बोला, that's very correct, right? Even I feel India recycling rates are very high. It's always been the case. It was just that it was happening in a informal area where we formal people are not looking at it, right? But it was always happening. I give a very simple example कि हमारे घर पे जो कबाड़ी वाला आता है, वो जो रेडी लेके आता है, the cart, right? Imagine that person will not take anything that is not of value, right? Because he has limited real estate. He has to drag that across slopes, across hills, and he will only take something that has value, right? So I completely believe that India mein recycling rates are very high. Most of the numbers that are given on this thing are not true. We have a very dynamic recycling ecosystem. Quickly talk on the product obsolescence also that you spoke about कि companies purposely product बनाते. I don't think कोई company purposely product ऐसा बनाता है जो कम last करे. It's just that the technology is evolving so fast that products become obsolete in our heads. So there is an end of use of a product and there is the end of life of a product, and those two are very different things, right? So for us, the first consumption cycle ends when it's end of use for us, but it can be of use for somebody else, right? So that is something that I want to talk to. And about technology, see, I'll tell you something. Look, technology to sab jagah pe hai, but we also have to realize that India is a very different country. It's not, I have seen when I started out in this field, when I went to do my master's and I saw the built environment in the UK and in the US for the first time. That's what drove me to start waste management, because I was like, ye India mein kyun nahi ho sakta, right? And after that subsequent interaction, I always saw that we are always looking to the West for solutions, right? We are always looking. It was mentioned that Sweden ke paas waste nahi hai. The kind of populations they have, the density of population they have, and the kind of psychological training that they have gone through, India mein wo cut copy paste solutions will not work. Okay, technology just for the sake of adopting technology never works, and it doesn't work in any industry. The unit economics have to work for it, right? If in fact, I would say that we are very conscious when we also implement technology in our operations, is that we see that at some scale, does this even make sense or not? Just saying कि मैंने technology बनाया, मैंने app बनाया है, मैंने ये the unit economics don't work, because in our industry we work on volumes and thin margins. Okay, so technology doesn't necessarily have to be digital. Technology can be physical. There can be technology in design. There can be technology in logistics. Technology is basically marketing. Technology bhi hota hai. Technology is basically anything I feel that makes your processes, optimizes your processes to give you a delta, and that delta has to translate into your economics. Otherwise, just putting technology everywhere is not this thing. जैसे fancy word तो 5 साल पहले machine learning था, आज AI है, तो सब बोलते हैं AI based हमने बनाया. So jargon aside, technology, where technology works, and technology, if it's scalable and if it truly adds value to your operations, to your business, then it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, I think just injecting technology is of no use.
Thanks a lot,
That's
Abhishek, for
correctly
that
said.
kind of a perspective. Before I move to others, one last takeaway message for our interns, the learning kind of a thing from this webinar. I know we'll be missing you for the rest of the webinar, but if you could just give one short, brief message for our young participants here.
Sure, I apologize for that. I have to be somewhere at 6:15, so I have a meeting, so I couldn't stay for longer. But I think this initiative is amazing. I think the youth is what is going to drive everything forward, whether it is psychological change, whether it is the consumption. They influence consumption decisions within the family. And I think India may, yeah, globally, this field has a lot of opportunities. I'm not only talking from a waste management recycling sector, but right from your product conceptualization, product design, material science. I think that is going to be the next biggest thing. If I had to put my money on something, I would put it on material science, because finally we are talking about materials here. So there is and like this webinar is all about storytelling, right? Everything changes with a good story, and your psychological change happens with a story. I have thrown kachara out of my window when I was a child growing up, but I stopped doing that, and now I don't see a lot of people doing it. And that is because of training and education and manners, right? So I think the youth will have a very, very good scope, whether it is business, whether it is employment in these firms. And I think all you guys who have attended this webinar today, you're taking baby steps in that. And I just want to wish you all, the best. And I'm always available. You can reach out to me over email or message if you need any help, and I'll be happy to help you with as much as I can. So thank you so much. And to my fellow panelists also, really love the work that all of you are doing. And we'll keep meeting in the course of our professional journey. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot, Abhishek, for joining and taking our time. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Guys,
Thanks so much.
guys, anybody else has a question for any other panelists?
Yes,
Arka, you had a question?
I have a question. Question is for Nirudavan ma'am is how can we apply design thinking to develop circular solutions for plastic packaging?
So thank you for that question, Arka. So as a plastic packaging company, it is important that the choice of materials, the amount of recycled content that is used in packaging, and looking at the end goal, right, in terms of where it is going to land up. All that is taken into consideration when a product is designed. So you can use more recycled material, you can have a mono material. So if you have a combination of too many materials, it becomes very difficult to recycle that. You can reduce the amount of material that is used, right? For example, I'll give you an example from our own sector. So in flexible packaging, all the chips, biscuits, milk packets, etc., wherever there is printing, if you use water-based inks where you have the brand logo, so those are the few changes that have to be done at our end in partnership with the brand owners. And that's how sustainability is brought. Now, we've also launched biodegradable materials. We use recycled PET bottles to produce film that again goes back into packaging. So there is circularity there, right? Now, what happens at our end and the brand owners' end is that we can launch these products. But like I think Abhishek said, that it's also about the cost economics, right? That it is more expensive if you use sustainable packaging today. Tomorrow, it may not be the case. So, as a consumer, as a student, as a person who is empowered to make those choices, you can ask questions from the brand owners. You can ask, where is it going to land up? How are you going to trace where your packet lands up, right? So what happens is, and then somewhere you will have to pay a slight premium. Now, research says that 79% of young consumers globally are willing to pay a premium for sustainable packaging. That's what research says. But actually, will you pay more? Will you pay a rupee extra or 2 rupees extra? Not you, but all of us, right? When we make those decisions, are we going to be willing to pay a rupee or 2 rupees extra for a packet of biscuits or a packet of chips because it has used more sustainable packaging? So the choice also starts with us and from us. So this is like a vicious cycle, right? We can do our bit, the brand owners can do, their bit, but ultimately we are all in it for profit as the industry players. So the consumers have to step up, they have to ask the right questions, and somewhere they will have to work, with the industry players. to ensure that it becomes the norm and not an outlier. So वो revolution लाने के लिए सबको इकट्ठे काम करने की जरूरत है. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I got it.
Thanks a lot for that kind of an explanation, Neeruji. It was very helpful. And I think Sabya Sachi has a quick question. Sabya, please come in.
I am Sabyasachi Senapati, pursuing MSc in Chemistry from Odisha. It is Autonomous College. My question is, what role can youth and communities play in turning waste into resource for a sustainable rural development? Please, sir.
No, so that's a very important question you raised there, Sabya. So see, I think community engagement and youth engagement is extremely critical as far as bringing a long-term sustainable solution to this, right? So I mean, we can be, there is only so much we can achieve by focusing on the legacy waste or the fresh waste that we are generating. But unless and until the youths and future consumers get more empowered and they get more engaged, asking the right questions, focusing on the right innovations as far as creativity is concerned, the solution will not come in. Okay, and that is something from Blue Planet's perspective, we are seeing huge momentum getting built up, right? As far as what the, I mean, unfortunately, our sector has been very non-glamorous, right? It's very uninspiring sector to be associated with. But what is changing is the way this sector is engaging with the youths and future generations is getting very exciting. Okay, so we need to bring a little bit purpose-driven engagement, right? So it's not only the work what they do, but what is the impact of that work is having on the societies or neighborhoods or the rural developments. I think those things are getting very important for the future generation to make sure that they are able to contribute meaningfully, right? So it's not always I mean, the past few generations, of course, money was an important aspect, but the future generation, what we are understanding is, apart from money, what impact is it creating? Are they able to contribute meaningfully towards their neighborhoods? And of course, the rural sector that we are talking about, Viksit Bharat coming along, right? So in the next 25 years, we will see a lot of development. I mean, take the middle class itself, right? So a lot of migration will happen from rural to tier three or towns, cities, and tier two, tier three coming to metros and tier one cities. So we'll see a lot of change mindset coming along with that evolution as well, right? So, but unless and until we engage with the customers, with the consumers and youths of future, and they take active role in becoming a part of the solution, I think that is very important. So that is what we will see. The future will look more promising and aspiring for our future generations, because they are asking the right questions and they are engaging with a lot more deeper meaning towards a sustainable living there.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Prashantji, for giving that kind of a perspective. Gorangi, you had a quick question for someone?
Good evening, respected panelists and all my fellow mates. I'm Gaurangi. I have a question for Neeru Dhawan ma'am. How can communication be used to make circular living aspirational and inspiring rather than just an obligation?
Thank you. Good question. Great question. You have your voice, which is very powerful, not only because you are young, but because you are part of this ecosystem where, it is possible today, which wasn't the case when we were growing up and when we were your age, to be able to reach a much larger number of people. So use social media, use your voice within your campus, within your families, your neighborhoods, and your local communities effectively. When we say that we want to come up with a solution, whatever it is that you do on a daily basis, document it. Document it, put it up. You may have 5 followers, you may have 50, you may have 100, or tomorrow, like one of the interns said, he had 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, which is huge. That's commendable. So your voice matters. That's where it starts. Take it up as a challenge. Say, that if this is the problem statement, if waste is not getting segregated, for example, the flexible packaging waste does not give money to the kabadiwala, so that's why it doesn't reach the recyclers. It lands up in the landfill. How is it, using all your critical thinking, you can come up with a solution? And not alone, you can bring a group of your fellow students together, come up with a solution, run a competition. I'm sure Dr. Garware would appreciate and encourage you to do that. You could have prizes, you could have a healthy competition where people like you could come up with a solution. So communication is about finding where the problem lies and coming up with a solution and being able to communicate it with a larger group of people. So you have a powerful voice, use it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that should be inspiring. Shubh, I think you have a quick question.
Yes, sir. Namaste, everyone. I'm Shubh Agarwal, a CF analyst, and I have a question for Prashant, sir. In a world where profits are still prioritized over sustainability, how did you scale so fast and convince the stakeholders to adopt circularity?
No. So it's a very sensitive balance that we need to bring, right, as far as the profitability versus sustainability is concerned. So when we started, I think the sustainability and ESG used to be just a three-letter word, right? Say 8, 9 years back, when we started conceptualizing Blue Planet. So far, that has become mainstream, right? It used to be a hygiene factor earlier, but now it's must have, right? So there is no way people, if you ask companies that sustainability or ESG will be one of the top 5 priorities that they want to focus upon, right? So why I say that these both sustainability and profitability have to coexist together is because unless and until the business ventures are have their own kind of legs as far as sustainability is concerned, right? So sustainability, not I'm not talking about the environmental sustainability, I'm talking about financial sustainability, right? So if they are not able to be financially sustainable, we will not be able to scale them up at larger scale to replicate at different locations or to grow and expand that globally. Okay, so we need to make sure in order for us to make a sustainable solution, it has to be profitable to make sure that we are able to replicate, scale, and take it at global level. So both these two things have to coexist. But otherwise, that has been one of the biggest challenges of our sector, right? Many of these innovations and solutions, they die their own death either in the, let's say, lab scale solutions or NGO level solutions. They are not able to scale that up to enterprise level so that we can take them to a much larger scale as far as impact is concerned.
Thank you so
So,
much, sir.
so that is very, very important of coexistence of both these two aspects. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Prashantji, for that answer. Shubha, I think that answers your question. And does anybody have any other question? Otherwise, we could get back to the panelists with our own set of questions. So I'll come to Dr. Simi Gurwara. Okay, ma'am, you referred to the engagement between industry and education sector. How would you like it to happen? We have two senior representatives of progressive industries here. What could be a wish list kind of a thing, which could be a win-win situation for all, actually?
See, we would love to have, the industry experts to visit the university, the academic institutions, and to, interact with the students to let them know as to what the real world is like, because what they are learning actually, within the four walls of a classroom is basically all about theoretical concepts. So all this can be achieved by having, a partnership with the industry people. And when they come to the universities, like as experts, they can present their case studies, they can share their resources also, and the kind of project, the research projects that students take up from time to time, in their curriculum, even that can be supported, by the industries. So there is so much that can be done, from their end. And when there is this partnership, it can go a long way, and the students then can benefit. I mean, there can be no twos about it, that this partnership can go a long way, because educational institutions on their own cannot do much, when it comes to the problems like these.
I think something for Prashantji and Niruji to mull over, and I'm sure they must be doing something in this direction already, but I'm sure there are other opportunities also. So, Prashantji, I'll come back to you again for a quick question. What are the next big breakthroughs you are expecting in waste management or circular economy? We have heard about AI deployment, we have heard about machine learning, we have heard lots of data analytics being used. What is a big breakthrough you would be expecting going forward?
Yeah, see, I think in our sector, the actual processing technologies, I think that is something which will play a lot better role rather than the AI or the ML part of it, because the challenge is we are still the cost benefit analysis of deploying these technologies at scale in our sector. It's still very difficult to make commercial sense out of it. Okay, so you can do some pilots, you can do some proof of concepts and stuff like that, but deploying those techs at scale, the cost benefit analysis is yet to reach where it can be deployed commercially everywhere. Now, where the technologies will play an important role is, for example, we are talking about landfill biomining technologies, right? For example, that is an indigenously developed tech that we scaled up, and we have already cleared more than 700 acres of land in 25 different cities across India. Okay, now how to replicate that to a, let's say, a smaller tier 2, tier 3 cities or towns, right? How can we take them to the rural areas, right? So those kind of customizations, how we can, because India for the next couple of decades will continue to grow and scale for the bigger cities, right? But we can't leave behind rural sectors also.
Right.
Right, so we need to bring technologies which can be customizable for to address the challenges and address the opportunities and the potential that is available for the rural sector as well. Right, so that is something which we will see a lot more innovation either through technology or for creative and innovative business models to engage with people living in the rural sectors also. That will be a great potential and opportunities that we are still evaluating. We have not come across tech which can address the rural sector yet, but we'll be very interested if there is any solutions that you academia can come across and share with us.
Hopefully, we'll have more solutions to that. I'll come to Neeru Dhawan.
So I think my only feedback would be stay curious, stay excited, and use your voice. Right? I think the kind of opinions that this newer generation has, and the kind of medium of communication this generation has. I think you should use it. Use it in the right manner. I think it will do miracles for the coming generations.
Thanks, Dr. Prashantji, for sparing your time and for those wise words for our young participants.
Thank you so
here.
much.
Thanks
Thank you
a lot.
so
Look
much.
forward to
Really
seeing
appreciate
that.
it. Thank you.
So, I'll come to Neeru Dhawanji. Neeru would like to give one quick message for a takeaway message for our young participants here.
So I would like to, kind of reaffirm what the other panelists said, that use your voice, with a lot of responsibility. You all have the power, each one of us does, and use that effectively to bring about a change. And, complemented with social media, it gets amplified. So every message, every change, every step that we take in the right direction, today that amplification exists because of the technology, because of social media. So do not ever dilute your voice, and you are the ambassadors of change. You are not tomorrow or the future, you are the present. So be responsible, and all the very best.
It's not for those words, ma'am. And finally, I'll come to Professor Simi Gurwara for a quick message for our young people here.
Well, what I would like to say is that being the young guns, you have a lot at your disposal because of the fact that you are so well connected. And this is because of the social media and the kind of engagements that you have there. Like you need to be the voice, you need to be the example, you need to set your own goals, and you have to be really participative and really engaged fruitfully, to solve the problems that afflict us. And if you take uh, this responsibility, and if you do it by all heart, then I'm sure that these problems, because problems are always going to be there, whether it is about consumerism or consumption, as we were saying, conscious consumption or consumption which is done consciously, whatever, so whatever problems we face, then the problems are there, then the solutions are also bound to be there. So we need to be more solution centric than focusing on the problems alone. So I would like to urge all the young participants who are here in this webinar that please try to be solution centric rather than focusing merely on the problems, and try to take the responsibility at your individual level and say that yes, this is something that I am doing at my level to solve the problem, right? So when you do that and join hands with your fellow beings, then I'm sure that whatever the problem is and whatever the scale of the problem is, it can be conquered. Any problem for that matter, and any situation for that matter, can be conquered. So all the best to you. My good wishes.
Yeah, thanks a lot for those wishes, ma'am. And I think I'll take the opportunity to thank you and also Niru Dhawanji, who's still here, and our interns.
Thank you for joining in.